This is how you actually change your life this year. Almost everyone wants change. They want a different life, different habits, different relationships, a different version of themselves. And yet, most people stay stuck. Not because they don't want it badly enough, not because they're lazy, not because they lack discipline, but because they're trying to change their life without understanding how change actually works in the brain. We've learned that change is about willpower, motivation, discipline, forcing consistency. But psychology tells a very different story. Today, I'm going to show you how real change actually happens. Not in theory, but in practice. And why so many people fail right at the starting line. If you ever said, why do I keep going back? Why do I know better but I still do the same things? Why can't I stay consistent with the change I want? This episode is for you, so stay with me. Because willpower is not a reliable system. Willpower works only when you've rested, when you're calm, when you're regulated, when life is stable. But life is rarely stable. You have things like stress, emotion, trauma, and uncertainty all overrides willpower. The brain always chooses familiarity over improvement, safety over growth, known pain over unknown change. So when you try to change your life using willpower alone, your brain quietly resists. Not because it wants you to be stuck, but because it wants you to be safe. Real change is not behavioral, it's neurological. There are 3 systems that control whether change sticks. If you ignore even one of them, change collapses. Your nervous system will ask, is this safe? If change feels overwhelming, identity threatening, emotionally risky, your system moves into protection mode. And protection mode blocks consistency, no matter how badly you want to change. Emotional memory. Your brain remembers past failures, past disappointments, past shame, and past abandonment. So when you try again, your nervous system remembers the pain. That's why starting over can feel so heavy. Not because you're weak, but because your body remembers identity. Your brain protects identity. If change threatens who you believe you are or who you were taught to be, your brain will resist. And that's why saying, I'm going to become a whole new person, often backfires. Change must feel familiar enough to be safe. Most people try to change at a behavioral level. They say, I'll wake up earlier. I'll stop texting him. I'll be more consistent. I'll finally do better. But behavior is the last thing to change. If the nervous system is dysregulated, if emotional memory is unresolved, if identity is threatened, behavior will revert under stress. That's why people change briefly, then snap back. This is the sequence that actually works. Safety, repetition, self-trust, identity shift, then stability. And that's why they fail. Step 1, safety. Before change can happen, your body must feel safe. And safety looks like predictable routines, emotional regulation, reduced chaos, fewer emergencies, self-compassion. Without safety, change feels like danger. Step 2, repetition. Change requires repetition, but repetition only works when mistakes are allowed. If every slip turns into a self-punishment, the brain stops engaging. Safe repetition builds trust. Step 3, self-trust. Self-trust is the real currency of change. Every time you return without shame, self-trust is increased. And self-trust makes consistency automatic. Step 4, identity shift. Identity shifts quietly, not through declarations, but through evidence. I'm someone who shows up. I'm someone who returns. I'm someone who adjusts. Step 5, stability. Stability is when change no longer feels like effort. This is where people think discipline lives. But discipline is actually regulation plus trust. Many women attach change to growth. This year, I'll finally be better. This year, I won't mess up. This year, I'll prove I've healed. So when change slips, it feels personal. That emotional weight activates shame, and shame shuts down learning. Change must feel neutral, not evaluative. This is how you apply psychology-based change this year. Step 1, lower the stakes. Step 2, choose fewer changes. Step 3, build regulation first. Step 4, expect setbacks. Step 5, return without punishment. Change is not about never failing. It's about returning safely. Real change looks like fewer dramatic shifts, more calm consistency, less self-criticism, more self-trust, slower but permanent growth. It doesn't look impressive at first, but it does last. If you remember one thing, remember this. You don't change your life by forcing yourself. You change your life by creating safety, repeating gently, and trusting yourself again. If this resonated with you, comment down below. I choose real change. Also, let me know what you have struggled with other years when setting goals, and where did you fail? And let's work on it together. This is how patterns break. This is how cycles end. This is how life actually changes. And this is how you are going to break the chain. And I am very proud of you for taking the first step into this new year. So let's keep growing together. Let's keep healing together. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.